Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. So starting this video off with updates of Big Ramy at 6.5 weeks out from this year's Olympia. And we are going to be a little bit more critical of Big Ramy today. For the past few weeks, I've been praising Big Ramy. You know, I've pretty much already given Ramy the title. But the first two things that jumped out to me in these updates were the conditioning of Big Ramy and also the posing. I don't think there's anyone in the top 5, top 6 at the Mr. Olympia that are executing their quarter turns this smoothly. I don't think anyone is executing poses better than Big Ramy is at 6.5 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia. And with him being the returning champion, possibly going to be 300 pounds and shredded on stage, it's looking like a great possibility that Ramy is going to get his third title. And as far as me being critical of Big Ramy, of course he could use a little bit more tricep, you know, more lower leg. But Big Ramy has already won 2 titles with those critiques, and he also has already had the indent in his quads when he won those 2 titles. Now switching over to Nick Walker, we have recent updates from him live from the Dragon Lairs gym. And apparently I'm a member of Walker Nation now because I believe Nick Walker can place within the top 4. But one thing is for sure, Nick Walker has made some serious improvements since last year's Olympia. We're not sure if Brandon Curry has improved. We're not sure if Heidi Chupin has improved. Now we're expecting them to, and we hope they have, but we know Nick Walker is improved. Big Ramy is improved. William Bonac, Hunter Labrada is improved. Honestly, as I said in a comment yesterday, outside of Big Ramy losing the title, almost anything is possible. But back to Nick Walker, his legs are looking incredible right now. And I hope Nick has actually made this many improvements and it isn't just the angle, because the upper body is looking a bit smaller than the lower body right here. Now switching over to Samson Dauda, we have recent updates of him ahead of this year's Olympia. Now a lot of people have been worried about as Samson dies down, he's probably going to lose a lot of that new muscle that he put on. But at 6 weeks out from this year's Olympia, I think Samson is still holding on to a lot of the mass that he put on. I just believe a lot of that went to the quads. This guy's legs are absolutely massive. Now switching over to good Vito, he is competing today at the Fit Power Show. Now I wasn't sure if this show was a pro qualifier, but Fozzy over at Fozzy Fitness did say that Vito will be competing for his pro card today. And Fozzy usually is a pretty reliable source. You guys sub to his channel if you haven't done so already. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, how do you think good Vito is looking right now? And similar to Chris, people are probably going to already start thinking about how he's going to place at the Olympia. But I'm not sure if he even plans to compete more. And once again, still not 100% sure if this show is even a pro qualifier. Now switching over to Antoine Vaillant, we have recent updates from him ahead of this year's Olympia. And I think Antoine will be very competitive in both front shots. He will lose a little bit of ground from the side just because that's where the true density of these bodybuilders show. But he will also shine from behind, having that detail and their crazy conditioning. And as you guys can see here, Antoine is also a great poser, so I'm excited to see the routine that he brings to the stage as well. Now switching over to Terrence Ruffin, we have recent updates of him ahead of this year's Classic Olympia. And every time I see Terrence, it makes me second guess my thought of, can Ramon actually push this guy? I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree Terrence probably has a more classic physique than Chris Bumstead. I'm wondering if it's just the height. But I'm pretty sure Terrence is going to bring a great package to this year's Olympia. Also the best poser we have in the sport. Very excited to see the posing routine that he brings. But Terrence is looking great at 6 weeks out. And do you guys think Terrence can challenge Chris for that title this year? Now switching over to Ramon Dino, we have recent updates from him. These were actually taken by Horse MD. And it's been going around the bodybuilding news that Ramon is having a hard time reaching his weight for this year's Olympia. And I'm telling you guys, with these top level guys struggling to make weight, they're going to raise the weight cap. They aren't going to let Ramon Dino go up to the open class, even though that would be incredible and Ramon may end up there eventually. But I think with all of these guys struggling to make weight, we are going to see a boost in the weight cap because they still have very classic physiques, regardless how much they weigh. Now switching over to Dancovea Anderson, these updates were from yesterday. He's actually competing at the Texas State Pro today. This show could be going on right now. Unfortunately, there is no live stream, can't find any coverage. But I'm pretty sure some news of this show will surface a little bit later and I will share it with you guys. But in one day out, Dancovea is definitely looking like a winner. Now switching over to Tony Yoon, I think he's competing in about 2 weeks. He did say he was going to hit a show before this year's Olympia, and maybe it's a qualifier for next year's Olympia. Once again, if you guys don't remember, this guy placed second to Ernst Kalasinski at the Boston Pro. A few people actually had Tony beating him, but this classic physique Olympia has over 60 guys. Going to be very hard to not get lost in the shuffle. Now switching over to Kamal Elgargni, we have recent updates from him. Now is it just me, or has Kamal always had this 3D bubbly look? This looks new to me. Kamal usually looks flat, and then maybe because he has to diet down to 212. but I don't remember Kamal looking this bubbly, this 3D. And as I've said numerous times, at his age 51, 52, I do believe him and Chris Aceto are going to bring his best package. And do you guys think it's a possibility that Kamal walks out of this year's Olympia with a title? Now switching over to Keone Pearson. If Keone has anything to say about it, I guess Kamal will not be walking out with a title. Keone is looking absolutely cartoonish right now. And as I've been hyping up Patrick Tuor lately, he also coaches Keone Pearson. And I think Tampa was just a warm-up for Keone and Patrick, and they're going to bring an even better package to the Olympia. Now switching over to Jang Yeop, we have updates of him. He's 1 week out from the Japan Pro. Now I'm not sure we have any American competitors in that list. Actually, we have David Henry doing that show. But Jang does need to be a little bit sharper. And if he wins this show to head to the Olympia, definitely going to need to bring it in, because 212 at the Olympia, those guys come in crazy condition. Now, the next update of the day, if you guys were wondering about Eduardo Correa, he is center stage at the Fit Power show. And there's a possibility he is going to earn a qualification for this year's 212 Olympia. And I was mistaken in my last video. I believe you guys said he hasn't competed since 2019. When I looked it up on NPC News, the last competition they had for him was 2012. Now, ending this video here with the archive of the day, you guys let me know in the comment section below which legendary bodybuilders are these. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. We probably have a lot more bodybuilding news coming today, so if you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from GOAT Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.